Hey, hey, hey.
I've always fought for regular people and not special interests.
There we go. This is ridiculous. Well, we'll have to do the thumbnail later, people. This is ridiculous. YouTube doesn't seem to know why I'm unable to go live. Hey, Kathy. I was just on the chat with YouTube, and I finally just let them fade. It said, gotta go. For 3 days now, the live doesn't want to connect. And I have to close my phone, close the app, reinstall the mic, the camera, everything. To say I'm frustrated is absolutely beyond belief. So I'm going to set this up on my computer behind me. Let me set the chat filter for all messages. They don't know. It's funny, like I have access to an actual living and breathing human being now that I'm monetized, but they don't know. Even today, when I wanted to rewatch the earlier live, because I always like to do that, it wouldn't let me scroll to it. The scroller button was stuck. And they're like, do you have another device? Like, I haven't even paid for this one yet. I have payments that's probably going to be longer than the rest of my life on this device. And it's telling me 1, 2, 3, 4 times, welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy. Can you see that 4 times? I'm seeing it 4 times. Hi, Vivian. And today some lovely woman sent me a beautiful, beautiful jewel, and it came across almost 20 times, and I thought she was sending the same one over and over, and I was like, oh, wow. It's like some people send super chats, and like they'll send another and another and another. So I thought, wow, like, hey, Crystal. I thought, great, like she keeps sending them. But then I looked up at the top of the screen, and I wasn't seeing the little ruby count go higher. Because you guys send jewels, and then we get rubies. And that total wasn't going up. And she said, oh, I only sent it once. Send it over. 100,000. Send it over. Sarah Bear. Welcome in. So I don't know what's going on. And other people have been sending me messages saying that they couldn't comment or they're not getting the notifications all of a sudden. Hi, Brantley. And every time I go to set up the live and I push the live button, which goes to, there's a next button, it just gets stuck. And they say if you have an Android phone, you can clear your cache, but I had to look up how to clear it on iPhone. So you have to go into like the general settings in your app and clear storage for a specific app, delete it, which I have done multiple times, and then reinstall it, return on the mic, return on the camera, let them access my pictures. But of course, in the middle of all this, I lost my thumbnail. So there's no thumbnail tonight, people. But there will be one after the show. Because I can't go put it in now. It was already there the first time. So if I try to schedule these lives and I tell everybody this is what day and time I'm going to come on and everybody's expecting me to be there, I won't be able to show up to my own show because I can't get the camera to turn on. And this is a brand new iPhone, but not so new that it's the iPhone that's an issue. I've had the iPhone for at least a couple of weeks now, maybe 3. "27 people? Where are you guys coming in from tonight on a Sunday night?" And it's amazing that whenever I've had these little glitches and I contact YouTube on the back end, the people that are at the call center or well, it's actually a live chat line, they don't know. And they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to put you on hold for 10 minutes." And then they come back like, "Okay, I'm still looking." Like nobody seems to know. And I'm really surprised because YouTube is owned by Google. And Google owns, half the world now. And their reps don't seem to know what these issues are. So I had to assure the person that sent the gift earlier, like, "Hey, you weren't charged for it 20 times." But that's why I showed her she was new, to my channel. And I'm like, this is the hype button. You get a shout out for a super chat or for even a small gift that's worth a penny. I'll hype you. And she sent a beautiful one. And then it kept popping up on my screen. But my audience said, oh, I'm only seeing it once. And then the super chat, or it wasn't the super chat, but it was the gift chain, started coming across the bottom of my screen like a train, like another one, another one, another one, another one. And she's like, no, I'm just using my free points. I don't even have a credit card attached to my account. I only sent it once. And then I couldn't read my chat because it was one of these hearts that popped up right across my chat. So people were typing saying they couldn't see it, but I couldn't see them. I don't know, YouTube. Get it together because I'm not buying another phone. This one will still have a mortgage on it by the time I'm 6 feet under. Like, unless we get another friend like Saraf, I'll be paying it off for the rest of my life. Used to be 24 months. I think now it's like 36 months. Like for a phone? I need to put a mortgage on a phone? Like, oh my gosh. I'm doing good, Brantley. I'm just trying to figure out what the heck is going on with YouTube. Then I have these pop-up ads that are blocking my desktop. This is crazy. And of course, while I'm sitting here trying to figure this out for 20 minutes every time, my battery life is going down on my Wi-Fi mic, and I'm down to one because apparently the other one pops and sizzles or crackles and pops, even though it's a replacement one. So, oh my gosh, and I'm obviously not getting all the messages here. Oh my gosh, this is so funny. Hayek, 100,000. I don't know what that message is about, Crystal. Exactly, Crystal or Sarah. Yeah, I would just pay my medical bills. Hello, William. And I'm not seeing all the messages that are showing up on the screen behind me. So if I'm not answering your question, it's because I'm not seeing the messages on the phone. Let's try it again. Let's switch from top to all for the second time. And maybe they'll start showing up. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I'm not trying to hide the message. I have to put you in a 24-hour timeout. See ya. Let's see. What other knuckleheads have come in tonight? That's a good one, Bill Meyer. The issue is aliens. Technology. They are watching every one of us. Probably. You're from Southern California, Lori. Me too. We don't have any Arby's Crypt Blue, so no can do. See ya. uh, MCTE says Oregon. West Coasters here, I see. Am I a friendship? What? I don't know who you are, Ludwig. This is a green screen. My green screen says that I am in Paris tonight, so I'm there in spirit. Okay, Bill, that's important. Everyone's channel is like this. You are not alone. You mean with the alien spies? How can we talk about Nancy Guthrie here? Day number 92. I'm from Los Angeles, California, broadcasting live. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, I just thought I'd go back and test this tonight, and apparently the YouTube issues are still issues. Where are you from, Michael? Thank you, Ludwig, but no, no, thank you. I don't know you, Ludwig. You think I'm just going to turn over my YouTube channel to you? Yes, I have a Wi-Fi mic on my head, Kathy. You're from DC. I used to live in DC a million years ago. Richard, welcome in, Richard. Where are you coming in from? We're at day, well, actually, evening number 92. I've lost track of the amount of weeks on Nancy Guthrie. I came in earlier, decided I was going to try it, you know, change up a few things and just have a subscribers only mode, but that didn't work. Then someone sent me a gift, but it was stuck and it kept repeating and repeating and repeating and blocking the chat, so I couldn't read the messages anymore. The reps at YouTube, they don't seem to know why the start button is frozen or the next button is frozen. So finally, I was just like, you know what, I'm going to clear the cache and just go and let them go because they didn't know. They just, my battery life is dying while I'm on hold with the chat. Like, yeah, I'm going to go spend another $1,400 or $1,500 on another device. Do you have another device? Well, yeah, I have an iPad and a desktop, but YouTube doesn't want me to broadcast horizontally or they won't push people into the chat. So I have to do it on my phone, whether I want to or not, and miss all important phone calls. Someone sends me an important message, I'll miss it. Yeah, and there's a lot of messages that are coming behind this phone in front of me that are not coming on the cell device. So if I'm not answering your messages, I'm not ignoring you. But that's been a YouTube issue lately too. That's the last thing I saw was from Michael was I'm from DC. Humble, I see you on the computer, but I don't see you in the chat on the phone. And there has been problems with this since Friday. When I get ready to go live, Humble, I can't even turn on my start button. And I see somebody named Deranged Creations on the computer says hello from Minnesota. I can't see that on my screen. Deanna is there on the computer screen, but she's not on my phone screen. And I have the chat filter. Uh, I have it set. You're new, Kylie. Welcome in. Hi, Panda. I am in Los Angeles, California. Because there's different locations and there's different devices. Hi, Cohen. No gangsters here tonight. Weird, you don't have any problems. Are you on Android or are you on iPhone, Humble? Because this is a new phone too, but not so new that this problem just started with the new phone. This problem has been about 3 days. And I get ready to go live, and it takes me about 20 minutes to get in. And this problem has been off and on, even with the old phone, where the desktop computer is showing more messages than what the phone is showing. Like if I was sitting at my coffee table right now and I didn't have the desktop computer on, behind this camera in front of me, I wouldn't have known that you even came into the chat, Humble. And I would not ignore you, sir. And even today, when I tried to go back to this live from earlier, I did a live earlier and I tried to go back to rewatch it. And I can't, when I hit the live tab and it shows all my videos, I can't scroll to the top. It's like it's blocking several of the videos where I can't see them. They just keep popping back up like they're stuck. Jesse says, I'm in Louisiana. Nice to meet you, Miss April. Well, nice to meet you. I don't know what happened to you earlier. What happened to you, Kathy? Okay. Humble says he's on Android, but he streams from his Chromebook. But can you stream vertically from a Chromebook? Because I'd love to have access to my phone while I'm doing these. In case, an important phone call was coming in or something. Apparently, I don't have enough people watching to stream horizontally. So I'm having to stream vertically. And I think I can only do that with a phone. Okay, I missed a comment. Dave DeLong, I beg to differ. Are you a gangsta? Kathy Doherty says she has the new Apple iPhone. I do too. Sadly, the replacement one that they had sent me on my older device, it didn't last more than like 6 months. And I would have rather kept the old phone and just, not had a new payment to have to deal with. Jesse Jewell says, yeah, my YouTube views say one thing, but when I click on them, they say something else. Yeah, that's been a known issue for years. I don't know why everything's so out of whack. They must have did a layoff in the bug department. You might be right. That's a very good point, Jesse. Anakin, hello. Where are you coming in from? Yeah, I've never seen this many problems in my life. And it all seemed to happen around the time that I got remonetized, except for the fact that the chat on the desktop is showing more messages than the chat on the phone. And I can't be watching both of them at the same time because if somebody sends one of those quick jewels and it pops up really quick, I'll miss it. So I have to be looking, at the camera at the phone. But every now and then I look over, you know, you can't see it, but to the right of the Eiffel Tower. And I saw Humble, and I'm like, when did you come in? And I saw Gary, but I didn't see Gary on my phone. Kathy Doherty says, my old phone froze up. It may have been YouTube, Kathy, because I didn't take you out. G5 technology is part of the problem. I believe that, Bill. I don't play Fortnite. So buggy you can hardly play it now. I mean, I know what it is, but I don't play it. But yeah, like there's so many bugs that I really felt like I couldn't do a legitimate live. And then when I was like, well, let me rewatch it and see if I just need to take it down, I couldn't even replay my own live. Okay, Humble, I don't think he's still here anymore because he said he streams from his Chromebook, but you didn't answer my question, Humble, as to can you do a vertical stream from a Chromebook? No, I wouldn't have thrown you out unless you did something horrible. Anakin says you don't have that problem. Yeah, we pay extra here too on YouTube. If like if we receive like super thanks or super chats on an iPhone, there's a 30% Apple fee. And then after the fee is deducted, then YouTube takes their 30% cut. I wonder if you turn your phone off, then back on to reset it. I have an iPhone as well. I have to do that. You have an update. You have an update. Yes. Trust me, iPhones have a lot of updates. Yeah. The iPhone is updated and I've had to shut off the phone off and on. I've deleted the app, but now I've had to do it a different way where I had to go to settings and then general and then phone storage and then app and delete it that way. Annika says I'm on an Android and it works fast. Kathy updated yesterday. Yeah, my iPhone updates in the middle of the night. So I've had all the updates. I've had this phone less than a month. And it's in perfect condition. So I know it's not the phone. And they're like, well, just try a different device. And I'm like, oh, it's going to be hard enough to pay for this one. Do I have to go out and buy a new iPhone every single week? Like, come on. I mean, it really ruined this afternoon's live. Jesse Jewell says technology just hates some of us, or maybe it's just me. You know what? I feel that way, Jesse. Join the club. Anakin says he has a Samsung. Are you a man or a woman, Anakin? You have a Samsung Galaxy. That's supposed to be a very good phone. Oh, you're a man. Okay. That's what I thought, but that's great because when people are sending things, if it comes from an Android, it's they take less money. And that's not a YouTube thing, that's an Apple thing. But it was weird today because some new person came in and they sent a beautiful jewel and I thanked them. I gave them a high porn and then it popped up again. But it was blocking my chat. Usually they pop up above the chat. And I was like, oh, she sent another one. And before I could like put the high porn down, it said just she sent another one. And then I realized like something's wrong here because when I looked up at the rubies at the top, that number wasn't changing. And then she later said, like, I only sent it one time. So it just kind of ruined the whole video. All these new data calls central are recording every single one of us. There is AI for each one of you, all connected to G5 technology. I watched one of the really big channel streams with a Samsung. Okay. Are you in New Jersey, the Jersey lady? Spent a lot of time there as a child. I really enjoyed it, actually. And my phone works different than an Android, but it is an Android. Hmm. Not sure I understand that, but okay. Yeah, but thank you for the recommendations of shutting down the phone or making sure that I've made sure that the app is updated, and it was multiple times. I've made sure that the phone is updated, and it is. Oh, you're not from New Jersey. You have Jersey cows. Oh, how nice. I'm a licensed private investigator, Jesse. And Anakin says my phone charges fast. Yeah, this new iPhone, the 17 charges extremely fast, better than any other iPhone I've ever owned. The thing on my head is neat. Yeah, that's just my Wi-Fi mic. I'm sure a lot of the charge ran out while I was dicking around trying to get the live to come on. I didn't plan on being here very long. There's other things I'll need to do tonight before bedtime, so it happened Friday, it happened Saturday, it happened this afternoon, and it happened tonight. We're not talking about credit cards today. We're supposed to talk about the Nancy Guthrie case. I don't do any work for people here on YouTube. I need to hire you to go figure out where all the money in our government's going. Oh, don't do it. Call somebody else. But thank you for the offer, Jesse. You need a charge card. Now the world goes around on those. Jill Meyer, I have a Samsung Galaxy A16. It has a lot of problems, but I'm connected to a T-Mobile and it's not a good server. Your phone is at 100. Oh, thank you for the red hearts. Those are very pretty. Thank you. It helps with the algorithm, as do the vertical lives, which I was trying to explain to Humble, but I think he already left. He's probably setting up his live. Oh, Kathy says T-Mobile here. What's my credit score? It's as high as it goes. Okay. Stop spamming us. Zero vacation. You're out of here. But you can always come back tomorrow and give me a few more clicks. It'll help me now that I have monetization. It'll be considered a view. Monica says I use T-Mobile. Is anybody here to talk about the Nancy Guthrie case? Or is this just a whole new crowd? Deanna says, I have T-Mobile as well. Some days are good and some not so much. A friend of mine had it and she didn't have any issues, but she's not with it anymore. Oh, you're doing the hearts. Okay, thank you, Kathy. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been a frustrating 3 days on YouTube, getting ready to go, and especially if I have like a script in my mind and then I have to focus elsewhere to try to figure out why the new phone is not working. You will talk about Nancy. Go for it, the Jersey lady. Jersey cows. That sounds so nice. Where are you located, Jersey lady? Since you're not in New Jersey. And I am drinking the diet ginger beer. Yeah, no alcohol. It's the Australian version of diet ginger ale. And a channel member, or a channel viewer, sent me this. Thank you so much, Sue. Yeah, I have no problems with my Wi-Fi. What do you want to say about Nancy, Jersey lady? Hi, Jane. Steve Urkel. Haven't seen you in a while, dude. How you doing, Steve? Yeah, I'm here in Los Angeles. I just decided to put up a Paris background tonight. Like, what the heck. No, this is just an open chat, Kathy. We're just gonna like chat about it. You said something about Nancy, but I missed it. Like I said, I'm not seeing all the messages um on the cell device. So let me go back and see if I can see these. I've seen you talk about the data calls, G5 technology. How come YouTube is not consistent? I haven't seen anything from you regarding Nancy. But if you want to type it again, hopefully it shows up on the phone. You are in Indiana. Yeah, there's nothing here from Bill about Nancy. I just see him talking about technology. I'm going to look at the desktop to make sure we haven't missed a message. No, it's all about the cell phones. Okay, here is a message up here that was not on the cell phone from Bill Meyer. My opinion, Nancy is in protected custody and is in a safe house because of Big Pharma. I don't think so, but oh, now it's showing up on my phone. Oh, you must have typed it again because I didn't see it before. Um, Crystal or Kathy says, I don't think she is still around. I don't think so either. Sadly, Kathy. You live in Hoboken. Oh, Hoboken is a wonderful little town. And what a view you guys have over the Hudson into Manhattan. That's an interesting one, Bill. My opinion is Nancy is in protected custody and in a safe house. You know, you're not the first person that's ever said something like that. Yeah, Hoboken is cool. Yeah, exactly, Deanna. She says, I think we all like talking about Nancy, but truthfully, there just isn't really any new information, sadly. If you're a minor, Anakin, you have to have your parents' permission. It is pretty. I haven't been to New Jersey, though, in many, many decades. California girl. Thank you for the clicks, all these people. Yeah, why? Why would she be in protective custody? Yeah, that big pharma message wasn't on the cell phone. Yeah, there'd be too many crimes committed if that were the case because there would be too many people that would be charged with filing false police reports. I think she was abducted and not necessarily because of a kidnapping for ransom. Those may be all red herrings. Maybe not, but maybe. And I think, because of her health, she didn't survive the ordeal very long. And then sadly, somebody got rid of her. And I hope that she can be found, no matter what condition she's in, so the family can have some closure. But yeah, I'm going to have to find, another subject to bring you guys in or just go back to doing my long form content. Take a little break from Nancy for a while. I know one of the bigger YouTubers was on tonight and he was like waiting for an arrest, but I think it was just a clickbait title. Deanna says, everyone tap, tap, tap the hearts. It helps April. Thank you so much. Good morning. Where are you coming in from? It's evening in California, but I know a lot of you guys are way ahead of my time. So where are you coming in from, Mr. Blues? Of course, in another 20 minutes, it'll be tomorrow morning on the East Coast. Wow, thank you for all those red hearts. Awesome. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button. I hope you guys are subscribed. At the rate I'm going, I should be getting it up to like 3,000 subscribers pretty soon. I'm currently sitting at 2736. Mr. Blue says, I'm from Northeast India. Well, no wonder it's a good morning. So, good morning to you in Northeast India. Thank you, Kathy. That's amazing. I'm meeting people from all over the world. We've had New Zealand, Australia, India, Israel, Egypt, most of Europe, Brazil. It's just amazing. Of course, the usual, the United States, Canada, occasionally Mexico, most of the English speaking countries. But I get quite a few people that come in from India too, which is awesome. There's some places, that will come up. Somebody will mention the city and I don't know where it is, and I'll look it up afterwards. Oh, thank you, Mr. Blues. Appreciate it. Yeah, make sure you hit that bell icon, then you'll get notified anytime I go live. Although YouTube just did make an announcement about these notifications, because a lot of people are complaining, like, I'm not getting the notifications when you go live. And they just this past week made an announcement. They've actually made a video that they put on what's called YouTube Studio, saying that if a person is not engaging in a channel on a regular basis, that they're not going to get the turn on notifications anymore, even if their notifications are turned on and the bell icon is you've clicked all, because too many people get upset about too many notifications, and then that can cause people to stop watching or to unsubscribe. So they're basically telling everybody, if there's a certain channel that you're interested in, make sure that you are watching it and you're communicating with it regularly, or your notifications are just going to disappear. Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate you coming in. Yeah, so that's the newest on that. YouTube is constantly changing. Sometimes people get unsubscribed by mistake, like by YouTube, and they have to resubscribe. Or you tell them, like, hey, if you're not getting the notifications, hit unsubscribe, then hit resubscribe, go to your bell notifications, click all. But they just made that announcement that they're cutting down on notifications because they think it's causing content creators to lose more viewers by constantly notifying people. Yeah, that's really important that you click the bell and you click all. But if you don't regularly come in or participate, YouTube might just not send you that notification, is basically what they're saying now. But all this other BS that's going on where the start button's not working, the next button's not working. Tonight, I couldn't even go to my previous live and rewatch it. Always rewatch immediately in case there's some sort of a glitch that I can just take it down, and or I can go into the comments and pin a comment like, okay, this is what happened. Like I already did that tonight about the little jewels, because this new lady came in and she sent a beautiful Mother's Day jewel, and I hyped her, but then it was just going on repeat over and over and over. And she said, I'm not sending those. And she was worried, but she said, I don't have a credit card attached to the account. And I'm like, oh, you don't need a credit card because they give you so many points for the jewels. They give you so many jewels a month, I guess, depending on how much you participate in the chats. And it was popping up on the lower part of the screen instead of the upper part of the screen, and it was blocking out the chat. And the rest of the people were looking at me like, why you keep hitting that horn when she sent one jewel? And that was a YouTube issue. And apparently they still have this problem now, that if I'm on a cell device, because they want these streams to be vertical, but I don't have the iPad on as a backup and I'm watching them both at the same time, there's people chatting and I'm not seeing their chat. I'm not seeing their comments. Let's see if I'm missing anything now. Oh. Okay, here's another one by Bill that's not on. Bill, if you're still here, I am not seeing about half of your comments on the phone screen. So I'm looking now back at the computer screen and it says Nancy was investigating Big Pharma and her life was threatened, so they made this up to hide her. Well, I haven't heard that one before. No, this is a what's called a green screen. Oh, hey, Mr. Blues. Thank you so much. Oh, is that from India? Oh, that's so interesting. I've received obviously US dollars, but I've also received quite a bit of Israeli new shekels, and I've received some great British pounds. So I'm going to be interested to see, to learn about your currency, Mr. Blues. Thank you. Let me heart that. That's so nice of you. Mr. Blues, I hope you will, come back to the channel and also watch my long form content videos because this channel is not just about true crime. This series is about true crime about Miss Nancy since she, disappeared from her home on the early morning hours of February 1st, 2026. But I have a lot of other stories on my channel and a lot of other videos and categories. You guys just go to the home page. You can click the playlist or you can click the video tab. Uh, um, Gastroni said that's 2 cents in real money. Well, we'll see, won't we? I'll find out later. Hey, even if you just send a penny jewel, Gastroni, it's helpful. I appreciate that very much, sir. Yeah, he's the first person to do that tonight. That's interesting. Oh, I just looked up at the top. It says it's 43 cents, and I have 40. And the only reason I know that is because you're the first one. So the total just came up. But thank you. Do you have is it rupees or ruples or rupas? What is the currency in India? That's awesome. Oh, you never did that before, so your first time you have no idea. No, I was just wondering like what your currency is. Like in the United States it's the dollar. Like in Japan it's yen. In like the UK it's British pounds. It's rupees. Okay. That's what I thought. Deanna, you must have been watching my former videos. Thank you, my dear. She says the protective custody makes way more sense than the turkey dropper for sure. The turkey baster. What was that? Was that Thursday or Friday? You guys going to have to go back a few videos? I almost fell out of my chair and died. Another YouTuber had a panel on, and some woman said that the blood droplets on the porch came from a turkey baster, like that they sucked her blood from some other location unalived or elsewhere, and came back and set up this whole staged this whole scene, and used a turkey baster. Even though the police and the FBI not only confirmed her DNA in the blood, but confirmed they believe that the blood was oxygenated. In other words, she was alive. They think somebody must have punched her in the face, hit her in the face, struck her with something. She bled. She went down on her knees because some of the blood dribblings, I'm not trying to be gross here, but they had what they believe was oxygen that caused it to bubble. And then when those bubbles burst, as the blood droplets dried, those particular droplets dried differently. So that kind of proves that when they took her out of the house, she was alive. And it's further confirmed by the fact that her pacemaker was still going. Now, or not just that the pacemaker was still going, but when it unsynced, right before it unsynced from her devices, that her heart was still beating. And people go, "Oh yeah, but she could have had her phone and her Apple Watch with her over at Annie Tomaso's," and she probably did. But they know what time the person came to the front door front porch guy, and they know what time. Um, what was the second time frame? Because the sheriff has changed this multiple times, but they believe they know what time she exited based on the fact that the pacemaker stopped syncing, and there was at least someone was in that house, someone or someone's plural, like more than one, was in there at least 41 minutes. And what were they doing if it was just a routine kidnapping? And people are saying, oh, well, it's all a farce. And it could be the kidnapping plot. Maybe it wasn't a kidnapping at all. Maybe it was an intended abduction and intended unaliving, but they sure spent a lot of time in the house before they took her away. And no, if she had already been deceased prior to all this happening at the house, like she was killed, whether intentionally or accidentally elsewhere, I don't see someone standing over her body with a turkey baster, sucking up her blood, and driving over to her house and going drop, 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 in front of a camera. It's just like, oh my God. But the lady that said this, it was on another chat. She was a panelist and she really believed that. And she was very emotional about it. And not one person, including the YouTuber who was hosting the panel, nobody interrupted her, nobody made fun of her. Now, when she further said that, she could prove that Tommaso had been in Italy at the Olympics for 2 weeks, they finally had to like interrupt her and say, no, that's bogus. That's not true. That he's been in, Arizona the whole time since this happened. Oh, let's see. So I kind of understand, Deanna, when you say the protective custody makes more sense than the turkey dropper. But in this case, that's not what happened. Trust me. But yeah, I can see your point. You guys have got to see that video when I talk. I think it was Friday afternoon. Oh my God. And it blew up really fast too. Like, uh, I wish I was in Paris. I have been to Paris as a child, but I'm in Los Angeles tonight, Jason. But we like to change it up. Oh gosh, you have to see it. It's so hot wangs. Go see it. Like, go see that video. Well, you know what? Here are the rules, people. No religion, no politics, no bullying unless it's directed at me, and no arguing amongst yourself in the chat. So this goes into the political spectrum here. So I'm going to have to put you in a 24-hour timeout. There you go, liberal. It's on my YouTube channel under my live tab. I'm pretty sure it was the Friday video. Watch a few videos back and you'll see. Oh my God. I literally almost fell out of my chair. It was late at night I came on to watch. I try to keep up with the story from other YouTubers' perspectives, especially people that are YouTubers that are boots on the ground. And they had a live panel. They must have been doing StreamYard or one of those. And this lady came in and she was an elderly woman and she believed it. She wasn't just like off her rocker or something. Like she really believed that someone got a turkey baster and uh, staged the blood like that, and it would just be impossible to stage blood droplets that had oxygen in them, meaning they came from a living person. What about all the videos outside the search circle? You never heard anything about that. What videos are you referring to, Bill? The time her device is quit puts her outside the search circle. I don't quite understand what you mean. They found the devices inside of her home, and her device, she would unsync from her devices if she was about 30 feet away. So if they walked her out of the house and put her in a car and started to drive her away, 30 feet would go pretty quick, especially with a property as deep as hers. The devices were found inside of her house on her nightstand. And the blood at the doorstep was not only confirmed to be hers, but they have proven, well, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that some of the droplets had oxygen in them, which caused them to bubble. Neighbors' videos down the street. Well, neighbors' videos down the street don't have any videos of Nancy. It could still be working because a pacemaker will still work after a person is deceased. It has to be removed or medically turned off. And I've heard it can also be somehow um, disabled with a magnet. And they don't, like, if a person needs to be cremated, they need to know if that person has any implantable devices in their body, because a pacemaker will explode inside of a crematorium and like destroy the equipment. So it's really important. And sadly, I know, my ex died, and that was one of the questions, like, did he have any implantable devices? This is a background. Yeah, this is a green screen. But tell me more, Bill. Hopefully your messages are coming through. All of them are coming through on the phone now. Yeah, I don't think that this crime happened elsewhere, and then they came and staged the scene. Whatever happened happened in the house. Like your device, it says GPS tracking and Wi-Fi. Yeah, and weeks after this happened, Bill, they did hear a signal of some sort, not necessarily hers, but out in the desert, outside of Tucson, there was some rogue signal that was picked up. And they did not go boots on the ground to find out what that signal was. And they got the sniffer chopper, which you probably saw earlier in the case, where they were going around her neighborhood and they were flying low and they were trying to pick up, like, because her neighborhood is right in the middle of the desert. Like, could she have been in the neighborhood somewhere? And it didn't pick anything up. But many, many weeks later, there was some signal that came in and they actually had an exact GPS coordinate, and they just flew the signal, or the sniffer chopper back, and nobody was boots on the ground looking for that. Boy, there's some strange people coming in tonight. Sunday night. I thought most people would be in bed at this time, especially since I'm on the West Coast, and the only places in the US that are behind me are Alaska and Hawaii time-wise. Everybody else in the world is ahead of me. A lot of the world, it's already tomorrow. Uh, yeah, there are some YouTubers that have gone out and looked, but as far as a professional search party like the police, or allowing the United Cajun Navy to come in, or search and rescue teams to come in, that has been not allowed. Mannix, you mean the old cop show or something? Asene Kadari, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right. Welcome in. Bill says you're in Iowa. It's 10:58. Yeah, in fact, Sheriff Nanos turned down help. And when the volunteers said, well, we're going to go out from her neighborhood, like on a Saturday morning, everybody gathered, he warned people, like, don't go on private property, don't disturb anything. You'll get arrested or cited, meaning a citation. And then the Cajun Navy, they wanted, they have planes, drones, dogs. And this was all before the weather change where it's like really hot there now. Yeah, midnight on the East Coast, 9 o'clock in California. Only Hawaii and Alaska is behind us now. And I have a few watching me from Alaska, but I don't know if I have anybody watching me in Hawaii. I have like the Philippines, Japan, the Middle East. I think it's a YouTube thing, Bill. He says I only see my chat and no one else is strange, and I have it on all messages. Yeah, like my good friend, the humble stacker, came in earlier, and I couldn't even see it. Oh, hey, Texas Mopar. Well, now it's getting really hot, and so the Cajun Navy, they've made another application asking, Pima County if they can come in, and they haven't got an answer yet. But if they do get an answer that they can come, they're going to have limited resources as far as the search dogs because it'll be too hot to put them out there. And they'll have to bring more dogs and they'll have to work shorter hours. But I don't think they should put the dogs to work at all in this type of heat in the desert. It's miserable. And there's, rattlesnakes and wild animals and rocks and thorns, and those dogs could get injured. They would have been safer to be out there in the wintertime when this happened. And we have a new friend here that comes into the channel occasionally, and she lives in Miss Nancy's neighborhood. And she said that night that it happened, it was actually really still cool outside at night. It was full moon and it was cool temperatures. But once things change in Arizona, it's over with. You know, once it changes, there'll be no going back until like October or November before it'll start to cool off. Jersey lady says she's seeing everybody, she thinks. Bill Meyer says, snap. I see everyone now. Yeah, it's YouTube is having major issues. They got to get this straightened out. Deanna says, I have never ever in my life heard of people being turned away to help search for someone missing. That is so bizarre to me, especially the Cajun crew. They are professionals. Exactly. And I've never seen a case where a police department, knowing that they have a much more serious situation here than just a missing person, and that's why they called homicide in immediately, because they knew this is much more than just some senior who walked out of her house and wandered away. And then they released the crime scene in the first 20 hours, even before the FBI was brought in. And then people were walking all over that porch, and they didn't take the mat. They didn't take some of the plants that the guy had in his glove that was now mixed in with the blood. They didn't take the frame to the Nest doorbell. They didn't even discover that there was a camera up on the roof. It was a neighbor who lived behind Nancy who brought that to law enforcement's attention. That, oh, what about the camera on the roof in the back? Like the police, like it was almost like they wanted to compromise the evidence. And then they allowed the family, as soon as it was no longer a crime scene within the first 20 hours, they allowed the family to have access to the home, to the inside of the home. And then all the YouTubers, even Brian Hinton, walked up to the front door and took video of that blood on the porch. And, some of the YouTubers were ordering pizzas and they were going to that address to the door rather than delivering them out on the street. Amazon, the U.S. Postal Service was allowed to continue to deliver the mail and stick their hand inside the mailbox. Usually ransom notes are left behind at property or they're sent to the family. Nobody should have access to the mailbox and to the front porch. Kathy, right on. John Bonet all over. Shoddy police work. Absolutely shoddy police work. And that John Bonet Ramsey case, that wasn't some criminal mastermind that did that. It was a group, and there was a mastermind who was an idiot, and the person they hired to do the job didn't do it right and everything went wrong, it all went to crap, a police department could have had that solved in under 6 weeks if they knew what they were doing. Deanna says exactly. Bizarre, bizarre, bizarre. Mr. Blue says, do visit my state. A lot of tourist spots are there. You can Google which is tourist spots. And, I've seen India recently. There's a YouTuber I watch, and they've spent some time living over there and visiting there too. Lots of people in India. Never realized how many people there. Paula W says, what's up with them? You mean the police? The sheriff's department? I mean, the scene was already compromised before the FBI even arrived. It's ridiculous. And it says that my goal has expired and it's telling me to set up a goal. So you know what? I'm going to try something lower end so it won't cost anybody any money. Let's try something different. Let's say, well, see, this is another problem with YouTube right now. You set it up and then it asks you to start your goal. And then it doesn't turn on. Yeah. Hi, Kathy Taylor. Hold on. That's another issue with the screen's not working. Like I couldn't even see my live today after I did it. It wouldn't allow me to see it. And it says an error occurred. Please try that again. What the heck? YouTube. YouTube is going to lose a lot of money this week. Now it's telling me to continue. If you guys can see it, let me know. Where are you coming in from, Kathy Taylor? Bill Meyer says, this case sounds so compromised. That's why I said safe house. And Bill, you're not the first one that said that. Yeah, send a gift, Remy, or send a super chat or one of those free gifts, and I'll hype you. And for those that have been hyping the videos, thank you so much. Apparently, that's a new thing that's changed with YouTube now, too, but you can only hype a video for up to 7 days. Everybody should hype the Friday video. I think that's the one where I came on and talked about the turkey baster. I think it was the second, whatever day I did 2 videos, I had to come back on the air because I saw that and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I just heard that. You're coming in from Florida. How you doing? Yeah, because the super chat goal just ended and now this is the gift goal, but the super chat button still works. It's on a timer. And then I can renew it or I can start a different goal. So I thought I would send the jewel goal. Hey, Bill, send a chili. Thank you, man. That's cute. Now, is it going to repeat like it did today? Today, someone sent the Happy Mother's Day heart, and it kept repeating and repeating and repeating. So you sent that once, Bill, or did you send it twice? Yeah, you sent it once, which is fine, but it showed up on my screen twice. Kathy Taylor says, I feel the same way. I feel like he's been paid off or just rotten. I gotta wonder that, Kathy Taylor. Oh, you said it twice? It didn't calculate up above yet, so today the lady sent the Happy Mother's Day heart once, and that's only showing that you sent it once, but I gave you a double hype. Yeah, it only calculated up at the top once. Hey, Mr. Blues, that's cute. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that screen like very careful now. But once somebody sends the first one, it's hard to keep track of the totals because it just keeps rolling up at the top. Like Mr. Blues, he was the first one to send the super chat, so it automatically converted it, and I was able to see the currency. The subject today, Colleen, is Nancy Guthrie, 92, or day 92, or depending on where you are, number 93. Yeah, they obviously still haven't fixed everything. Because I saw it twice, but it only showed on the screen once as far as saying that you sent it. That's crazy. This new girl that came in and I kept blowing the hype horn, she didn't understand. Oh, that's too bad. I'm gonna have to take you out then, so you can go sit on the toilet. Colleen, I can't believe, so sad. I know, my heart just aches every single day for Savannah Guthrie and family. I believe you, Bill. It's weird. Hussein says hello. Whenever I feel like it, Mr. Blues. It's not a specific time or day. And at first, there was so much happening on this case that I kept going live. And I think I did the Friday live. And then I think it's when I went on the air Friday night, or before I went on the air, I was listening to the other YouTuber who's got a huge channel, and he had the panel, and the lady came on and started talking about the turkey baster, and it was either Thursday or Friday. I'd have to see which day I did too, because it was so like, oh my God, I won't even be able to go to sleep if I don't come back on live right now. I'll have to check because it was a two-parter. Let's see if I can figure it out by looking at my channel dashboard. Let me go to my live content. Of course, my new tripod that was sent to me through the YouTube wish list kind of blocks the screen on that. Oh, might have been the second. It might have been yesterday. I don't know. These are all just running together for me because I did one on Chandra Levy, and then I heard more about Nancy, and then I was just like, oh my God, and then I came on again. So it must have been. Was it Saturday night? Watch them all. Logan, hello. I'm live streaming, Hussein. What are you doing? Now let me go back to the YouTube screen on here. It looks like the messages are now catching up to the phone screen. Poor Humble. He's like, April, why do you always ignore me? Like, I can't see you coming on. Maybe because he's coming on with an Android? I mean, I don't know if that has something to do with it. Oh, it says I'm up to, somebody must have just subscribed. I'm up to 2740. That means my LaMetric clock should go ding ding behind me in a few minutes. Who was 2740? Who just subbed? If you're not subbed, everybody sub. If you haven't hit that like button, please do so. I think I know who you're talking about. Is that the guy that's on YouTube, Bill? He says, I can remember the guy that goes all around finding bodies in water or wherever. I asked him to help find Nancy, and he said he would try. I think that's a wonderful idea because from the very beginning, I kind of felt that if they had to get rid of her quickly, considering it would be very hard to dig a hole in the hard desert because it's like rock, like maybe they would if somebody meant to kidnap her, but she died, and then they didn't have proof of life to get the ransom, that they panicked and they might have, sadly put her into water. Adventures with Purpose. Okay. I know there's a guy that I watch at night sometimes while I'm lying in bed and they pull like old cars that have driven into lakes and so forth. And sometimes there's people still in them. That's what happened. There was a famous screenwriter that had driven from Santa Barbara to Santa Fe, New Mexico, to meet with Marsha Mason, the actress. And on his way back, he was just hauling all the way through and he was tired. He pulled over, I think it was Victorville or someplace, and called his wife from an AM PM. And she was like, if you're tired, just pull over. And he's like, no, I'm going to keep going. And then somewhere between there and Santa Barbara, he just disappeared. That case was on Unsolved Mysteries. They looked for that guy for years. There was even alleged sightings of the guy, alleged sightings of the car. And it turned out he was in the California aqueduct for years. And the car was upside down and he was still strapped to his seatbelt. Yeah, he's the one I asked to help. Yeah, Mr. Blues. For most YouTube channels, that's very small, but for me, that's huge. That I've almost hit 3K because I just pretty recently hit 2K. It took forever to get to 2K, but now that I went to 2K and I'm doing this crime series, it's been going up pretty steadily for me. And now I need it because I'd like to be able to make enough just to pay myself back for 5 years worth of YouTube expenses. In fact, I already hit the 5 year and 4 month mark. And that's kind of shocking because I opened the YouTube channel right after I had my chemo, my surgery, and my radiation. And then I had started a 5 year treatment plan where I have to take a pill every day. And I had just started that in September of 2020, and I started this December 2020. So to be able to say that, I made monetization once, lost it, came back, got it again, rebuilt my watch hours, hit 2,000 subs, and now I'm almost at 3,000 like a month later. That's For me, that's pretty awesome, but let's keep it going. Let's get it to 3,000 people. Oh, I didn't even see your question, Mr. Blues, but I just answered it. Since the end of December 2020. Dawn says that show is amazing how he could just find people that have been missing for a long time. Bringing peace to families is awesome. Yes. And you know who else could do that, Dawn? Besides the people that are looking underwater? The United Cajun Navy, because they said that on big cases, when they get called in to go help find people, that they often end up finding sometimes other victims or other missing people. That, it was like when they looked for MH370 that first time and they didn't find it, but they found a lost shipwreck from the 1800s that was like perfectly undisturbed at the bottom of the ocean, and it was a wooden ship, and it was still like laying there like bones in the bottom of the Indian Ocean. That was just amazing. They don't even know for sure which ship it was, but it's like they think they've got it narrowed down to two or three. But if the Cajun Navy went out into the desert, especially the desert of Tucson, considering apparently how much crime they have in southern Arizona, and maybe that's because of its close proximity to the border, but there are a lot of missing people in Arizona, and there's a lot of people that go missing in the desert, never to be seen or heard from again, whether they just went out there on their own or somebody put them out there, left them out there, and they could solve other cases possibly by having people like that go look. And I say the same thing with the people that need to start looking at the lakes in the area. Oh, your mom beat breast cancer today. Well, you know what? Your mom's my sister then because I've beat breast cancer so far. So congratulations, Pres Bobcat. This guy started underwater searches while cleaning up waterways, started seeing cars, some with remains. Jared Lesick. Okay. Don McWhorter said, sending pink heart to you, April. My mom as well. Adventures with Purpose. I was just going to ask Kathy, what's the name of that again? Oops. I'm looking for my little boogie board thing to write that down. This is the greatest thing I ever invested in, this little boogie board. Yeah, that's how that case of that missing screenwriter was solved. And ever since then, there's been all kinds of people that have started looking. Sometimes they're just looking for stolen cars. And then they found out like there's cars that have been pushed in or cars that had, driven off bridges or highways. To all the cancer survivors. I'm gonna see if that's the one that I've been seeing on YouTube because there's one that it just kind of pops up in my feed because I guess I'm watching it enough that they're showing it in my feed. And I don't think I'm subscribed, but I got to find out if that's it. Oh, they found one in Lakeland. How would they even go into a lake in Florida with all the alligators? That's dangerous. And the one that I've been watching at night, I saw them, I think it was somewhere in Georgia, and I'm like, oh boy, there would be alligators, like big ones. Yes, that general is missing from same area as Nancy in same month. Yeah, but that's a separate situation. He was in New Mexico. And I did a video on that, not just specifically him, but all these other missing people. And that's why I made the new Chandra video, the Chandra Levy video on Friday. Or was it Saturday? I don't even know what day it is anymore. Colleen says, that's great. Beat the cancer. My brother, brain cancer. God, oh, I'm sorry. Good sonar. Keep going on, having my breakfast. Okay. Let's see what this goal says. It says 1 of 10. Yeah, I'm not going to go on that long because pretty soon I'll have to take my night blood pressure meds. When I asked who subbed, it was you. Well, thank you, Bill. Now I'm up to 2742, it says. And you know what? My little metric clock didn't go ding ding yet. Sometimes it takes a while for it to catch up. Some others include exploring with Nug. Can't remember the others right now. I'll check out Adventures with Purpose. I'll have to look to see the one that I've been watching, but it's fascinating because even if the people are deceased, we need to know. Like, if God forbid we could find Nancy that way, like let's do it. I go to bed pretty late, but after I take my meds at 10 for my blood pressure, I kind of lay down and just close my eyes, maybe take a little nap, but then I wake up and start watching YouTube in the middle of the night, but snuggle with my fur babies. There it goes. You probably didn't hear it because the Wi-Fi couldn't pick that up, but ding ding. Yeah, it only counts for every 10 subs now rather than every one. Once it hits 1,000, it doesn't individually ring anymore. Exploring is the channel I was talking about. Yeah, that's amazing people that do that. And a lot of these people, they don't even charge. I don't think the Cajun Navy charges. Like, how are they making their money? Are they doing do they have a YouTube channel? Like, I gotta search more about that organization because not only have they been turned down once, but they have asked a second time to come back in or to be able to come in, and they haven't got an answer yet. Not ever. Yeah, why would you turn them down? Deanna says, I watch Adventures with Purpose. They are wonderful. Jared and his crew, they have closed a lot of cold cases. And well, a lot of cases give the family the closure that they need. I feel the same way on some of the cases that I do. I have handled a lot of missing persons cases where they don't know if a relative has died or if they're still alive and if they're out there. Now, I can't just be hired and hand you somebody's address unless I have a court order to have a reason to get that address. But, if I find the address, which usually I do, and I've found people that nobody could find, even people that are homeless. And they're so thankful, like, "Oh, if you didn't find me, this wouldn't have happened," or I've even had a lady that came in and said she needed to find her ex-husband because of something that had to do with court or their divorce or something, and it was something really important, and, I saw, like, the paperwork or she told me what it was, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, but I'm gonna have to still get his permission," and he was, like, totally cool about it, she was totally cool about it, and it helped them a lot with their situation. And she has since been a contributor to my cancer GoFundMe, which has never been taken down. Apparently, the links expired, and I didn't realize that. And somebody here was like, "Hey, I was just trying to check it out, and I couldn't see it. That's in my links." And I'm not asking for money on that, but when people go, "Oh, that cancer story is BS," you read that, and then you realize it's been for real, and everything that's happened since. The sheriff is yeah, I think so. Very arrogant. Jared gives as much info on where these people were going and where they were last seen and then go search. Exactly. Yeah, PIs do a lot of missing people cases and all for various reasons. Yeah, I do. Why? Are you going to send me a Taco Bell gift card? Oh, thank you, Deanna. That means so much to me. Especially I've gone live for the second time today. Thank you for your dedication. I'm sure the families appreciate it. I would love to be able to, you know, talk to Savannah. I doubt she's watching, but if she is, you're more than welcome to contact me and I'll make sure to verify that it's really you. Yeah, if anybody wants to contribute in any way, you can go to the main channel page and click the channel description in case you want to buy something off of eBay. I don't have much up there anymore because I haven't had much time to restock my store, but there's a few little goodies up there. And if you guys ever are interested in live selling, you can go to my Whatnot store. If you're not already a member of Whatnot, they'll give you $15 free to shop. And you don't have to spend it in my store, but if you did, I would appreciate it. If you want to know the cancer story, just go to the GoFundMe and just read everything from 2019 until the last time I posted, and you'll see everything that's happened from day one. Or if you want to go watch my my long form content videos, just click the video tab. There's a little super thanks that they hide in there, depending on what type of device you're watching on, which is a lot like a super chat, but it's something that people can give after the fact. Hey, April, how's it going? Phoenix, Arizona here. I'm starting to get a little tired. Been having a lot of YouTube issues the past 3 days, Peggy. And lots of other people are saying they're having issues too. But I appreciate all my new friends. I appreciate everybody that's come in. What's really shocked me, I mean, really shocked me is that one of my mods suggested that I put up a, a YouTube um, gift list, or it's also called a wish list. And I was like, okay, I mean, I don't think anybody will buy anything. And I've had like probably over $300 worth of items that have been purchased in less than a month. In fact, I need to go back to my business box this week because there's a couple of more items coming. Like, wow, everything from tennis shoes to socks to gift cards to mints. Somebody sent me a jug of laundry soap, which I desperately need. Like, thank you so much. Like, it's just the little things that mean so much. And the mod said, I think you should do this because a lot of people like to contribute, but they don't want to contribute in like a form of a super chat or a super thanks because they know that YouTube, especially if it's given from an Apple device, that they take so much. And then Apple takes 30% too. So that, 70% you're supposed to get is more like 48% if it comes from an Apple device. It also depends on the country you're in. So I've received some Venmos, a couple of Cash Apps. Some guy sent me a PayPal. Like, this is amazing, the amount of support I have received since I started this, especially since I got monetized. And then the super chats started coming in. And then we met our friend Saraf. If you guys are watching regularly, you'll see Saraf come in from Israel. He's just been amazing. I mean, he is Saraf. He's holding the channel up on his shoulders. And I've never even met the man. And I wish I could, but he's in Israel and I'm in California. He's a really cool dude. Everybody that watches my channel and all my mods just love him. Thank you, Colleen. What a strange question, Frank. We're talking about true crime here, Nancy Guthrie. And hopefully YouTube will fix this gift issue so that when somebody sends a gift, the same gift doesn't keep popping up on the screen over and over and over again. And that's definitely a YouTube issue. And today, not even being able to rewatch my live, because when I tried to scroll to it, I mean, I probably could have got it on a desktop, but on a phone, it wouldn't let me scroll to that. How she is gone? Are you saying now she is gone, or how is she gone? Well, most likely, but we don't know that for sure. She still needs to be found, and the people that are guilty that did this horrible act need to be found, arrested, tried, prosecuted, and sentenced. And they should never ever get out, as far as I'm concerned. Now, if there is a group, which I think there is, I think anybody that's involved in this should come forward on their own and be the first one to come forward, because if you turn yourself in, you'll probably be able to cut a deal for a lesser sentence. Because if you don't, you're probably getting life for the death penalty. And if you're related to any of these creeps, you don't need this kind of person in your life. Call 1-800 call FBI. That's 1-800 call FBI. Call on the tip that cracks the case, and you may get a portion of that very large reward. That reward is still on the table. If you have to march yourself into a police station and say, hey, I have the answer to this, but I'm going to need physical protection, the FBI can provide that to you. In fact, they're the only law enforcement agency on the planet that I know that handles witness protection. So if you need protection, you may be able to get it. Do the right thing, because you're probably in more danger knowing that information and not saying anything than if you just did the right thing. Even if you don't want to make a call, just get yourself to the closest police station or even fire station. and say, hey, I have this information and I need to turn it in, but I'm scared that, someone's going to hurt me if I, turn in the information. You'll feel so much better about yourself. And I'm sure Savannah would want to say thank you. And, I am a licensed private investigator. I'm not currently licensed in Arizona. I'm licensed in California and I'm mostly retired. But if the Guthrie family ever wanted to contact me, specifically Savannah, you know, and I'm not going to just accept an email and know that that's her. I would have to meet her in person or do a Zoom and, do a FaceTime, actually be able to see her face, that it was really her. I would be happy to be a new set of eyes on this because I have a whole list from A to Z of things that need to be checked. And I would really like to know what she knows about this because I'm sure the police haven't told her everything, but they've told her more than they've told the public. And then once you have your list of suspects and they still don't have physical evidence, then you start doing surveillance. Whether it's digital surveillance, physical surveillance, you do it. Because most criminals are not smart. Most criminals are dumbasses. They'll make a mistake. They'll be easily caught. And then once the first one gets caught, then the whole rest of them go down. Because the first one will say, well, I was just hired and it wasn't me. And, well, prove yourself wrong. Who's involved? Who did what to who? Is that information is all traceable. Well, I'm not seeing any new messages. I hope everybody here that's watching is subscribed. I hope you've hit that thumbs up, also known as the like button. Sometimes you have to tap it and go into the next screen to be able to activate it, or you have to be signed into YouTube. And if you're watching on the replay, some of those people that have sent items that have either come to me already or are en route to my box, thank you so much. It means the world to me. I hope that there's going to be more information soon. I hope they're going to get something off this rootless hair, but I'm not counting on it. But I have to tell myself to be more positive, that hopefully they'll learn something from that. And this case can move forward to the next step. Poor Savannah. Heck, it's 12:38 in New York, so she's probably got to get up in a few hours so she can go to Manhattan and sit in the hair and makeup chair, wardrobe, and get ready to do another Today Show. God bless her. And God bless Miss Nancy. Let's pray, everybody, that she is found soon. And thank you for coming in. Thank you for all the new subs tonight. It was cool meeting you guys.